All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. Pastor Dow here. I'm sure that many of us are literally up to here about sick about hearing about this coronavirus stuff. Really. You know, it's been over, 2 or 3 times, at least 4 times, I've tested the boast of this alleged coronavirus stuff. Now, mind you, I remember when it first started coming out and how they shut down stuff and how that a lot of small businesses and mom and pop businesses literally went under and never to recover. And I see personally the global agenda, and you can call me conspiracy theory all you want. But what do you do when the theories become fact? Most of us who are informed, we're not buying this stuff. We're just literally not buying. Am I saying that there's not a virus? No, I'm not. I'm trying to tell you, let me try to run this down. Let me see, I was in Jamaica last November, I believe it was. All right, I came back in country. All right, they were just starting to chatter about coronavirus in January. In January, I was in Mexico. And I came back from Mexico, and immediately after that, I went to Wisconsin. Okay, and then after I got back from Wisconsin, the coronavirus had already hit in full-fledged swing and full service, okay? It had hit, all right? And they had shut down almost the whole United States of America. I mean, the streets and the cities were ghost towns, okay? They want to throw out some facts here. Well, we go a few months, people off. Our government decides they're going to extend the national debt by a couple of $1 trillion by giving alleged so-called stimulus packages, really the people's money, that they're literally kicking the proverbial can down the road, and they never will, I'm going to say it again, balance the budget because they're too busy fudging the numbers and cooking the books. And I don't understand how that the government can legally counterfeit money that we don't have. Because of the Federal Reserve, and put our hawk and our people into debt by the international bankers or the IMF. And everybody seems to think it's norm now. Just print, keep printing. When is the reckoning coming? I don't know. And so anyway, come springtime, we had Passover. Had an extraordinary amount of people here at Passover, like 400 something people. That's most we usually had at Passover. We usually just have a few people come to the Passover feast. Well, and then of course, everybody was big on alleged social distancing and all this other crap. It's just off the chain, man. Well, we get up to the Feast of Tabernacles, and we had 830-something people on the land. The first thing I get all these mindless, mind-numbing minions out there questioning me on what happened to social distancing and stuff. But nobody ever asked about social distancing when President Trump is holding his rallies, where he's not wearing a mask. Half the people in the rally's not wearing a mask. Nobody ever said nothing about that. So anyway, we had 830 something people here, and we wasn't just there for a couple of hours. We was around each other anywhere from 10 to 14 days. All right, not one case. And we're talking about people who come from all over the United States of America, all the way as far as from California to Florida, as far as New York. Might as well throw Texas in there too to cover all 4 points in some way. All right. Then the next thing you know, the president allegedly comes down with coronavirus and stuff, and everybody's all up in the end, and so he goes to the hospital, gets a little injection or whatever it is, or say he comes out and felt like Superman. Then he throws this information out in front of the general public, which most people just seriously miss. And what is that information? If you had even contacted COVID-19, let's just say you had the virus, and let's say you self-quarantine, or if you didn't self-quarantine, and you ran the 2-week or the 14-day time frame, now you're immune to it. Listen to me very closely. If you're immune to it, why you need a vaccine? If you've already had it, now you're immune to it, why do you need the vaccine? Well, most people don't know if they had it. Hey, I just got finished running down. I have literally carried on life as normal. I remember coming back. I think it was from a plane ride. I think it was coming back from Wisconsin. I can remember there was no more than maybe 20 people on the plane. That is including the stewardess and the pilots. So I'm watching this whole world get upended and stuff by a virus. Now, mind you, in the United States of America, we're a fairly large country. We're nowhere near the size of China, but we're a fairly large country. And mind you, President Trump makes no apologies by calling this the China virus since it originated in Wuhan, China. All right? Now, the United States of America, we have what? 370 million people in our country. And I think 218,000 people have died. I'm going to come back and revisit those numbers. The news media, swaying the attention and the minds of the public opinion, is not making a big stink out of deaths no more. They're taking it to the zenith. They're taking it to the apex. They're taking it to the tip of the spear, or the top of the universe, that when somebody tests positive for the coronavirus, just because they test positive, man, they're making a big crap list out of this, man, like as if it's the end of the world just because you tested positive. And no longer is the country focusing on the deaths from the coronaviruses, but on the how many people that's allegedly tested positive for the coronavirus. That's what our country is involved in now. All right? So think about this for a second. The flu. If my numbers and my mind serve me right, there's more people die of the flu every year in the United States of America than what has died during the coronavirus. I mean, really, think about that for a second. 218,000 people died, and the majority of them older people, whatever it is. And even at that, let's just say that we're following what they say, that those people died of coronavirus, and it's suspect because we heard people dying in car wrecks, there was coronavirus. We heard what some of these nurses and people said in hospitals, and people wasn't dying of coronavirus, but they were, the coroner and all this put out coronavirus, everything's coronavirus. So even that, those numbers are suspect. And I suppose that we're supposed to believe everything that the news media is saying. I suppose we're supposed to believe everything that the agenda is saying. I suppose we're supposed to believe and take it what everything is everybody else is saying just because they said it. No longer exercising self-autonomy and, you know what I mean, using critical thinking. No, I use critical thinking. I just got to finish telling you my little resume here. I think it's unbelievable and unreal. I truly do. I think it's sad how gullible the American people are. I really, truly do. And even though every case study shows that masks do not prevent the coronavirus, yet and still we have places, institutions, or whatever else requiring you to wear masks when you go into places. And actually, the truth is, you're actually doing more harm to yourself than good when you're wearing these masks that don't ventilate well. Well, up in Canada, they're telling the people that they're going to throw people into intern camps if they don't accept the vaccine. They're telling people that they're actually going to take their land and their property if they do not accept the vaccine. That's over in Canada. Now, mind you, Canada, like the United States of America, the people in America and the people in Canada coming from those respective countries, you can travel the world if you want to, but just because you border each other, guess what? Canadians can't come to America and Americans can't go to Canadians. Simply amazing, isn't it? I think that they have accomplished their mission in dividing the people so much the more so, that in the division, that they have us more united at believing government bullshit and propaganda than they do the truth. You know, the truth is something amazing. See, truth is all right until truth is spoken about you. And then when truth is spoken about you, all of a sudden you're an asshole. You know, the person who told you the truth. The manipulation, the coercion is off of the proverbial chain. It really is. Well, now we're getting ready to head into the winter months, and you can only imagine with the flu and cold season coming up, you can only imagine how many people there's going to be touted as succumbing to the coronavirus, and it was the flu, because, respiratory. pneumonia, stuff like that. You can only imagine how much the numbers are going to get inflated so they can continue to keep on giving fear and infusing fear and injecting fear into the people's minds. We no longer live in a world where people use critical thinking anymore. I'm telling you right now, if you're going to live free, you're going to live free by the barrel of a gun. And you better hope that you have something in your hand to be able to protect you and your family. Because it looks like it's the agenda of the world order to want to, for some reason, some way, somehow, they want to inject everybody with this coronavirus crap. Oh, there's all type of theories and everything out there. Now, I don't speak to it because at this time there's nothing but theories. If people come up with all types of theories about everything, and that's why I don't speak about theories. I mostly try to reserve my thoughts and my comments until it's proven a fact. And even at that, you have such a dissenting viewpoint and perspective coming from people that try to talk people down and over talk them and loud talk them to the point to get so loud that people can't even be heard no more. Well, we're getting ready to see, ain't we? Aren't we getting ready to see? Because it looks like that this agenda of the NWO is salivating to erode even more civil liberties. I think it's just sad, the mindless minions that we become as a people. And I know people are mindless mean because when you can no longer embrace truth, you all but finished and done. Myself personally, I don't have much hope in the people of America at all. I just don't. Now, that's just me. I just don't. I try to make sure I surround myself and associate myself with people who use self-autonomy. People who just ain't gonna, believe you when you tell them it's raining outside and you pissing on a leg. I hate to be commenting a lot of these thoughts right here and stuff, but it just literally should piss you off. It literally should piss you off. It would. Well, I'm going to end this again to remind people what I said earlier. President Trump said, hey, I've already had the virus stuff. I can go anywhere I want. I can hug anybody I want. I can do what I want because now I am literally immune to the virus. Don't you think y'all ought to take that to the bank? After all, it did come from the President of the United States of America.